Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. This is not a podcast conversation. I might turn it into one. I don't know. I'll just be winging it. I just want to come on and tell you that you're loved, friend. You are loved more than you will ever know. You got to know this. You must. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to pour words of life over you, letting you know that you are not alone in this thing. And that the enemy's intentions are only because of the love that is over you. The enemy's attention on you is only because of the love, friend. I'm here to tell you. I'm here to encourage you. The enemy can't take your encouragement. That's one thing enemy can't do. The enemy is so captivated and mesmerized by you because of the love, friend. I'm here to tell you. I want to talk about thoughts today real quick. I was thinking this morning, where did thoughts come from? A lot of times, friend, the tests that we go through in life are not of God. They're not. They're tests that are sent by the enemy, the satans of the world, and their children, the devils, and all of the lower level energies that are the footmen in the earth for the satans of the world. God doesn't need to test you. Why does God need to test you when God is right within you? God wakes up with you. God goes to sleep with you. God is in the dream world with you. God is in the waking world with you. Why does God need to test you? It is the satans of the world, the imposters, the imposers of the world that need to test you, friend. And a lot of times, friend, the tests of Satan, you can always tell what they are. They don't feel right. They seem out of context. They come in ways in things that normally wouldn't befall you. You wouldn't normally find yourself in. It goes back to the analogy that I said about the dream world. If Satan can send you a dream, which Satan can, and his minions, all of them, they have the technology, the art, the science of doing this. You must know the powers at which you are walking with. You got to respect your enemy. This is the man that was here when God created the world. This is the energy, the entity that was here when God created man, the vessels in which God created his majestic vessels that he created to house his spirit in. It is the jealousy of that, coupled with many other things, envy of God himself, that drew him into the place that he's in now. The mere fact that God created us in his image to house the living water of life, the fountain of life within in the world, was probability number one for the problem with him. So all of these sciences on how to get at us, on how to try us, he's mastered. If you think that your thoughts are organic, that you just come up with your own thoughts, you're crazy. You're not pondering this life. You need to sit down and think about it. We're at the end of a thing. We're not at the beginning of anything. We're at the end of a thing. You know how many people have come and gone before us? You know how old this planet is, friend? And you mean to tell me that you're so unique that all of your thoughts are yours? We're antennas, we're avatars of God in the earth. We are God's footmen in the earth, and we are public enemy number one to the satans of the world. It is his job to turn us. And in turning us, he's spitting in God's face. So why would he not send us mental projections? Why would he not send us thoughts? Somebody feel me on this. Why would he not? That would be the first thing he does. The first thing he does is send us thoughts. The next thing he does is find someone that can get to a low level of vibratory frequency that he can work in and have those people interact with us. When the serpent came to Eve in the garden, the serpent didn't come to Eve bestowing knowledge in the beginning. The serpent came to Eve and asked Eve questions. Eve was intelligent. Eve knew. Eve was wise in her own right. She wasn't dumb. She wasn't some dingbat woman that he came upon and took advantage of in that sense. The serpent came upon Eve because Eve knew certain things. She was useful because of the knowledge she had and her rank in the earth. If none of it came to Adam, why didn't he go to Adam first? He came to Eve and he asked her questions. What is your name? Why are you here? What's going on here? What is this tree? And she spoke intelligently to him, to everything he asked her. She left nothing to chance. She gave him answers, matter-of-fact answers. And then he said, oh no. Once she answered the question, he said, well, that's not true. He provided doubt. And then he provided her with another what? Thought. Gave her a thought, an idea, a perspective to something that she had been dealing with all along, something she was accustomed to. She knew it. She knew the law of it, and she was not in contradiction to it. She was in agreement with it. Something she knew and she passed on to her children and to all the other women in the lot because she was in control of them. And had to have been in control enough for her to pass it on to Adam. He came with a perspective, a thought. And this is what the enemy does. The enemy is mastered the thought realm. The enemy has mastered the dream realm, friend. And this is why God made it so much of his business to tell Moses and to tell Jacob and to tell all of the leaders of the children. Make sure you remind these children of what I've done. Make sure you tell these children my law. Make sure you know the greatness of their history. Because when the root is deep, it takes a lot to pull it. It takes a lot to pull it. When the root is deep, even if you pull it up, there's certain parts of that root that's still down in the ground, and it will spring forth again something new of that same kind. The enemy knows the weaknesses of the children. So friend, I'm here to tell you that, a lot of us are contemplating things and looking to, make change in the world, or even just to looking to live a peaceful life. How much do peace cost? I need to know that right now. How much do peace cost? Because, what I find is in this life now, I'm going to put that conversation on the side real quick of the thought. What I've noticed in life nowadays is that we will be in the audience. We will sit in the audience with our smartphones or with the attention of our eyes and our mind at other people. And we will all, in the process, be partaking in the, what do you call it when you don't have peace? When in the chaos of someone else's life. We will all sit right there and partake in it. Whether just with our smartphones. You ever see somebody getting attacked or arguing in public or having a public display of some upheaval, and all you do is you look and you see everybody's got their smartphone out. No one is trying to quiet it. No one is trying to be the mediator. No one is trying to dissolve it. You are there causing more unharmony. When you look at social media and you look around to people and their comments on other people's situations or in whatever way that is not to harmonize it or to resolve it, you are causing more disharmony. How much do peace cost amongst the children? That is a question I got to know. How much does peace cost? Getting back to thoughts. That's just a thought I want to leave you with right now, and then I'll get back to thoughts. Is how much does peace cost? What's the price of peace nowadays? Nonetheless, these thoughts, when a thought comes forth, its goal is to manifest itself in a form of, it could come in the form of an urge. It can come in the form of a memory. A memory will bring forth many thoughts. Urge could come forth, could give birth to many different thoughts. It's a beautiful thing for thoughts to happen, regardless to who sends them. A thought is a beautiful thing at times, depending upon the quality of the thought. It's the ability for us. God has created us in a way where we are to receive these thoughts. This is the fundamentals to our creation. And this is what Satan plays upon. We are the avatars of God in the earth, and we are created to receive these thoughts and then to either allow them to manifest within us in a way that they take form and shape, and we color them with our different other perspectives that we put on them. And let them last for a time, and then they dissipate. Or we can continue to till them, giving them life in our minds by attention, and then taking it a step further and then acting on those thoughts and giving them a place in the physical life. This is the fundamentals of what we were created to do. And the enemy, Satan, God's enemy, God's opponent, the opposite on the spectrum, has used that same science to turn the children. It's an interesting thing, friend. It's an interesting thing. And I wrote down a couple of things. Who sends the thoughts? Thoughts come from something you're aligned to a lot of times. Being aligned to something opens you up to the different frequencies of thought that come from that space of that thing you are aligned to. Or that thing that sees you as adequate in creating from it. So whatever you're aligned to, in order for it to align to you, it sees you as adequate from receiving from it. Because alignment means being able to partake of that thing, reaching it at where it's at and being able to partake of it. Think of a vending machine when you get a soda and you see the little thing go up and it goes right to that soda and it grabs it. That's alignment. It aligned to that soda, it grabbed it, soda, water, whatever it is, and now it goes back down and goes back out to the vending area where you can receive it. That's what I look at as alignment. So alignment is being able to partake of a thing that you have met at its frequency. It finds you adequate, worthy enough to partake of it. You meet it shoulder to shoulder. Or thoughts come from people or from beings, Satans, what have you, who are interested, curious even of you. They find you interesting, either by desire, by curiosity, by need, to that which the thought is to bring out of you. They find you intriguing, worthy of their attention. So much so that they've created a thought just for you with a bow on it to bring out of you that which they want to see based upon their curiosity. So really, the fact that they have sent you a thought fundamentally, whether in the form of a dream, however, is, I guess you could say congratulatory in some sense. You've caught their attention. Whether they're strong enough within themselves to open up and say openly, I'm curious of you, or whether they aren't. Their actions say it. The thing is, the Satans of the world, they must do these things. God does not need to test you. As I said, God is not out here testing you. God is within you. There's no need to test what he already knows. God wakes up with you. God goes to sleep with you. God is you. You and God, you and the Father are one, whether you realize it or not. God is going to know you whether you wake up and see it or not. If you know you, God knows you better than you know you, friend. The God aspect that is within you is working day and night within you. It does not cease. It does not sleep. It takes a written account, a mental account, of a vibratory account of all of the goings on within your avatar, whether you realize it or not. So there's no need for God to test you. It is the Satans of the world that test you. The Satans of the world test you because they're not omnipotent. I said this a couple of podcasts ago. They're not all powerful. They're limited in their power. They must be manipulative to get power. You have power. You have the power of the living God within you. They do not have that. They are not omnipresent. They cannot be in many places at once. Thus, they must be extremely manipulative. They must use these tactics. They must send you a thought. They must work in the dream world. There's no other way. Thus, they are masters at the art of testing and manipulation. Yet, when God said to all of the leaders of the children, make sure you tell the children the law, make sure you make it known of their history, make sure you make it known of the hand that I have covered them with through all of their many walks, so there's no doubt in me. This is how you are able to know when Satan moves through his tests and when God is moving. You are intelligent, you are informed. But if you are ignorant and blind, you will fall for all of these various methods of operation that Satan and his children instill upon God's children. All of Satan's tests, when you know yourself, the majority of them, if not all of them, you can distinguish between that and of God. Whether it's a dream, whether it's a thought that comes upon you, an urge, you know it when it shows itself up. And you can placate with it if you want to. You can razzle dazzle with it. All of that kind of stuff. Have fun with it and let it go and let it pass. Go on to sleep. Or you can stay in it and feed it attention. Make it real in your life. Fret over it. Worry over it. Get enamored with it. Get lost in it. And live in it. These are the things. And I'm not saying to play with Satan's, nuances or this and that. But when you're in the dream world, let me give you an example to what I mean. When you're in the dream world and Satan sends you a dream, do you realize that you are being sent a dream by Satan while you're in the dream world? And do you automatically say, oh, I'm going to wake up right now? No. You must allow the dream to pass. While you're still acting in the dream world, you have no choice. And then when you wake up And you say, wow, that was a weird dream. Was that, what was that dream? And you begin to reflect upon it. And based upon your knowing of self and your knowing of God, you can distinguish what is what. And then you can allow yourself to feed it attention by thinking of it, or you can deny it any energy and let it pass. It's the same way with these thoughts, friend. It's the same way. I'm learning so much. Just so thankful. I'm telling you. Satan's tests are not like the workings of God. They're not. They come like, I don't even know what to say. They come like a the thing with Satan's test is that they never get a genuine result. So his tests are always faulty. It's as if he just needs to propose the test to say that he gave you the test, not really caring about the outcome. Because the test in itself is based upon a lie. And anything you create that's based upon a falsehood will give you a false result. And that's with anything. Whether I just did the video about the job, and that's why I tell you, God leads me places. Yesterday I did that video. I didn't intend on doing that, but the Spirit hit me while I was speaking to the gentleman that was working on my team, and it just led me organically to divulging that aspect of what I've gone through in my life. And then here I am today, organically talking to you about really a thought and having to rely upon what I delivered yesterday, which was anything you get out of deception will not be lasting. You will not enjoy it. It will not be fulfilling. You'll constantly have to edit it. You'll constantly have to manage it and fix it up and keep it going. You could never just let it go and do its own thing and allow it to be what it's going to be. You can't, because you've gone into it from a deceptive place, a place of disintegrity. All of Satan's tests never render a truthful result. It goes back to the false prophets. When a king has prophets amongst him that lie to him, there's an aspect of him that knows that them prophets are lying. There's something in his spirit that has told him that those prophets are lying to him. But if he allows it to carry on, it only weakens him. This is what lies do. This is what deception does. It weakens the foundation. Whether it's a relationship you've gone into and you've lied about something, it weakens it. Whether it's a job you've gone into and you lied to get it, it weakens it. You constantly are in a fearful place. Nonetheless, the moral of this conversation is to let you know that Satan and his children use many methods to impose themselves upon the children. And one of the many and the most used is by way of thoughts, urges, dreams. This is how he works. And you must know yourself. There's nothing to be afraid of. You're only afraid of something when you don't have an answer to it. Yet, this is why God took the children the hard way every time. It wasn't because God didn't have another way. God is the creator of everything. God can move mountains. God can make night day and day night. He took the children the hard way so that they would know within themselves the might of God. that they would know within themselves that they are capable. And they are capable through the might of God. Going the hard way makes one go inward so that you know yourself more than anything. You know yourself and you know the God within you. So that when all of these other tests come that the enemy will put upon you, you can put on the total armor of God. Now you know what that armor is. The armor of God is not just within the Bible. Because what do you do when you are like a David and you don't have a Bible and you want to run? What do you do when you are like a David and you don't have a community? And it's just you, friend. What do you do when you are like a David and you don't have a prophet? You ain't got no ephod. These are the things. Because in those places, the enemy will test you there too. There's no place that the enemy is off limits. This is why God makes you capable. Honestly, I believe this is why God sent David through the rough way that he went. And what made David so great was that he didn't bow. He didn't cop out. He didn't take the easy way. The easy way would have been just to go, let me go find Saul and kill him. Because David could have did it. And in his mind, he could have justified it and thought that he would have solved all his problems. But taking the hard way, friend, is honestly going the way, the righteous way, not the perfect way, the righteous way. By allowing the fear of God, the fear of being out of alignment with God, to lead and direct your path. And this is what David did. And that in itself kept David in alignment. Wasn't that he was perfect. He wasn't perfect. He paid the price for all of his imperfections like a man. And he kept his integrity intact. He stayed close. Mind your thoughts. Know yourself. Pay attention to yourself. And keep going. If the enemy wasn't curious of you, the enemy wouldn't invest no time in you, friend. There's something real special about you. There's something very worthy about you. And a lot of times I do believe, and many of you might not, that the enemy is enamored with that. He's just not strong enough to say it. So he's like a little boy on the school bus that actually likes you, and he pokes at you. And you say, stop. And he pokes, stop. And you get up and you change seats and you go sit somewhere else. And here he comes sitting right next to you because he knows he's bigger and stronger than you. Even though he don't mean no harm. Not to say that the enemy doesn't mean no harm, but I'm just saying, he's enamored with you. He doesn't know how to convey it. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other. Peace and love.